if FBI gambling shit that it's rigged. I don't know what else to tell you. Did we not watch Casino? I don't know. Sam Rothstein, right? Let's go here first. Wait. Let me find it. So let's listen to Shaq and those guys. Shaq and those guys gave their take, which was kind of interesting. Nope, X out of that. Okay, now that. Okay, no. Okay, let's go here. Okay, let's go here. Okay, I'm sure ESPN's going to clip me, but, we can do that in post. We can fix it in post. Let's go.
We all know the letter of the law when it comes to gambling and sports gambling, and I don't want to sit up here like I'm some perfect guy. Like every now and then when I go to Vegas, I'll play some craps and I'll play some roulette, but never gambled at anybody's house. Don't know anything about poker, so I don't know what they're talking about when it comes to the Chauncey thing. But I know Chauncey. I know Damon very well. Played with Damon, so I don't want to sit up here. But I'm ashamed that those guys would put their families and their careers in jeopardy. There's an old saying in the hood: all money ain't good money. So if you're making $9 million and you're dealing in certain things, like how much more do you need? Especially if you get caught, you can do jail time.
Really, I've never heard a millionaire say it's enough. I've never heard a millionaire, whether he got his money legally or illegally, say it's enough. I've never heard any multi-millionaire say I got enough money. I've never heard that, y'all. And if you have, please let me know. Who have you heard say I got enough money, I'm good? I've never heard anybody say that. Come on.
Lose your career.
Uh-oh.
Put a bad image on yourself or your family on the NBA. I agree with you, Chuck. They dropped the ball.
100%.
They had
100% dropped the ball.
Like you never want to have your name involved in that when you know the letter of the law. And Ernie, again, I know for a fact every year they cancel practice and say don't do this and don't do that and don't do that. So all the guys had the information.
Okay, let's see how bad this is. This is bad. This is very, very bad. No, let me see. No, I don't want that. Here's the breakdown. You ready? Now, this is pretty much the exact same case that Gilbert Arenas is fighting right now. Now, I have a theory that Gilbert told on other people, on other NBA players. I believe that Gilbert made a deal to be a CI, sealed indictments and everything, to keep his name out the paperwork. I believe that he's given information to help the feds with this case. Does Gilbert Arenas strike you as a guy that's built for, I don't say who's built for prison, but he ain't trying to go to prison. No one's trying to go to prison, man. Come on, stop. But let's continue. So here's some of the reference points. So Chauncey Billups, Terry Rozier, and Damon Jones, right? Illegal gambling, sports rigging. It's not so much the gambling. It's the rigging of it, right? 11 states, 30 individuals have been arrested, 13 mafia members. The case involves La Cosa Nostra. I thought these motherfuckers were extinct. I didn't know they were still in action. I thought La Cosa Nostra was out of action. I thought all the mobs were broken up, y'all, because they're all on DJ Vlad telling their stories, like Michael Franzese and Sammy the Bull and Jimmy the Gabbana and Shimmy the Shamana. I thought they were all like broken up. I didn't know these guys were still. I didn't know they were still still doing it like that. Charges include illegal gambling, wire fraud, and extortion. There are 2 separate indictments. The first involves 6 defendants accused of participating in a sports corruption scheme that exploited insider information involving NBA players and teams. Tim Donaghy told us this. The defendants leveraged their connections to place prop bets based on confidential insider information, winning tens of thousands of dollars per bet. The second indictment involves 31 defendants charged with participating in a nationwide scheme to rig illegal poker games. So it's not only illegal, now you're rigging them. Jeezy Pete's. That's crazy. The FBI says they use high-tech cheating technology to steal millions of dollars from victims in underground poker games that were secretly fixed. One of my favorite movies is Ocean's 11. Oh my God. The whole Ocean series, except with the women. Oceans 11, 12, and 13. Some of my favorite movies. Steven Soderbergh was in his bag in those movies. I love the 60s aesthetics and the music, the score, the camaraderie amongst the men, the brotherhood, and how sharp everybody was. Everybody had its own skill set that made them crucial to the group, right? This was the same Ocean's role that Steve Harvey tried to backstab Bernie Mac for, okay? Ocean's 11, 12, and 13. Some of my favorite, just popcorn movies. Like, if it's on, I'm sitting to watch it. And how they broke down the gambling, the poker, all the, oh my God, you listen, if you ain't watched that movie and learn how to go hustle a casino, I don't know what to tell you, right? Let's continue. Okay, so the FBI says they use high-tech cheating technology. Oh, remember when they went to Mexico? Was it Ocean's 12 or 13? Nope. Okay, 13 was Al Pacino, and they used a pinch to cause an earthquake to disable the AI. Okay, Ocean's 12. I believe Ocean's 12 was they went to Mexico to put metals in the dice mix in Mexico so they could be able to flip the dice when they got it back and bankrupt the casino. Flawless execution. Come on. All right. The two cases are separate, but there are 3 overlapping defendants, including former NBA player and coach Damon Jones. He gonna tell. The FBI says that NBA Terry Rozier told the defendants that he was going to leave a game early on March 23rd, 2023 with an injury. The defendants then placed more than $200,000 of wagers on the unders for his prop bets, with Rozier leaving the game after 9 minutes. 9 is infinity. Those bets paid out tens of thousands of dollars in profits, and the defendants and Rozier counted the money at his house. The FBI says that former Raptors player Jonte Porter was threatened to participate in the sports gambling scheme because of his gambling debts. Now, this is somewhat what happened to Jordan. Somewhat. Jordan was told Jordan had to sit down for 2 years because of his gambling. It was getting out of control, right? He had he owed the mob big amounts of money. Some of us still suspect that the daddy was kind of like a warning shot to him if he didn't pay those debts. And so the theory goes, Chicago theory goes, after they killed Jordan's daddy, the mob, Jordan went to the NBA for help. That's been the longest running theory we've been told, we've heard regarding Jordan. So he owed money. He was taking too long paying the debts. The mob killed his daddy. Jordan went to the NBA for help. And the NBA said, okay, we'll take care of it, but you got to sit down for 2 years. That is the story we kind of grew up on. And I've never heard anything different from that. Okay. Mind you, the NBA has its own police force. Okay. Let's continue. All right. Teams that were bet on during the sports gambling scheme include the Charlotte Hornets, Portland Trail Blazers. Oh my! You hope LeBron is not in this shit. You hope this doesn't include LeBron or AD, and the Toronto Raptors. So you hope it's not Kawhi. You hope it's not who's another famous Raptor? All I can think of is Kawhi. Okay, let's continue. The rigged poker games occurred in the Hamptons, Miami, Las Vegas, and Manhattan. The poker scheme targeted victims who were lured to participate in rigged poker games by the chance to play alongside former professional athletes. These athletes included Chauncey Billups and Damon Jones. So they were the patsies. Hey, you want to play in a high stakes poker game with some famous people? Yeah. These two signed up to lure them people in. So these were the patsies. These were the setup guys. Nasty work. The FBI says that the defendants utilized altered shuffling machines to read the cards in the deck and then relayed that information to an off-site operator. The off-site operator, known as the quarterback, then sent that information to someone at the table. Remember in casino, Sam Rothen's running his casino, and you had 3 different guys at 3 different tables, and one guy kept winning, and Sam was like, why is this guy winning? what's going on here. And he kind of followed the eyes and the trails, right? The one guy over here will let this guy know what the dealer was holding here. And they use the wiretaps, right, under their shirts to tap out the numbers that the dealer had for the third guy to bet accordingly. This is exactly what this shit is. Casino. Wow. I think he might be named in this, man. I think the end of LeBron is coming. I think they're tired of LeBron. LeBron has lived out his usefulness. LeBron had a great run, but you're 40 plus years old. We're ready to move on to somebody else, and we need you in compliance. So we're gonna put this smut on your name on your way out. You never leave. What did Eddie Griffin say? You never leave the game clean. Black men do not leave the game clean ever, right? So I believe on LeBron's way out, they're gonna put smut on his name. And this is how they're going to do it. Crazy. Let's continue. Let's look at this shit here. Let's see. The FBI also says that the defendants utilized other cheating technologies, including poker chips, trays that read cards through hidden cameras, special contact lenses, and glasses that could read marked cards, and X-ray poker tables that could read cards face down. Remember, there was an episode of Sanford and Son. Remember that the gambling episode of Sanford and Son, and Sanford had these glasses that could see through the cards. And I believe Lamont was losing badly and he owed a bunch of money. And then so Pops said, you know what, I'm going to bet the whole junkyard in this game. And he had these glasses that could see through the cards. And remember at the end of the episode, Lamont asked him, so how did you know? Oh, these glasses here, big dummy. I can see all the cards. Remember that episode? Does anybody remember that episode? Yeah, remember that episode. Okay. I know I'm not the only one that remembers that. Let's continue. Wow. X-ray poker tables that could read cards face down. The FBI says that the defendants robbed the victim at gunpoint to acquire a rigged shuffling machine. The sports gambling investigation is called Operation Nothing But Net. Oh, that's funny. While the poker investigation is called Operation Royal Flush. The FBI has been working on this investigation for 4 years, with victims losing at least $7 million. One specific victim lost at least $1.8 million. The FBI reviewed thousands of hours of video evidence and executed more than 24 search warrants. These are just accusations at this point. I believe that Gilbert is helping with this case. There's no way that he gets pinched for basically the same crimes as these guys here, and there's no connection. You mean to tell me Gilbert is not plugged in to ex-NBA players and what they do with their monies outside of the NBA? Are you for real now? Like Gil ain't one of the guys? Okay, let's continue. Let me pull this back. Let's see. Okay, let's go here. Is this it? Let's go here. Okay. I would not be surprised to see LeBron's name in this indictment at some sorts. I believe they're going to send LeBron out with dirt on his name. Come on.
To announce a historic arrest across a wide-sweeping criminal enterprise that envelops both the NBA and La Casa Nostra. The men and women up here standing with me represent a small portion of the leadership team that brought profound justice in an era that needed it more than any. I'll just highlight some of the details in the case and the FBI work, and then you'll hear from the others. But as you now know, individuals such as Chauncey Billups, Damon Jones, and Terry Rozier were taken into custody today, former current NBA players and coaches. What you don't know is that this is an illegal gambling operation and sports rigging operation that spanned the course of years. The FBI led a coordinated takedown across 11 states to arrest over 30 individuals today responsible for this case, which is very much ongoing. Not only did we crack into the fraud that these perpetrators committed on the grand stage of the NBA, but we also entered and executed a system of justice against La Casa Nostra to include the Bonanno, Gambino, Genovese, and Lucchesi crime families.
Wow.
We'll hear more about those details today.
I went to school with a kid with a Lucchesi. He was related to that family. Indiana University. He was a Lucchesi, and he would tell me all types of stories and shit. But okay, let's continue.
The charges and the arrests that were taken down across this country range from wire fraud, money laundering, extortion, robbery, illegal gambling. This FBI will leave no room for any perpetrator of crime across this country. You hear a lot about our work of defending the homeland and crushing violent crime. Well, this work is also representative of a colossal portion of the FBI's mandate to keep America safe and to keep our entertainment industry fair and secure. The men and women that are standing up here today worked tireless hours, days, months, and years. And the fraud is mind-boggling. It's not hundreds of dollars. It's not thousands of dollars. It's not tens of thousands of dollars. It's not even millions of dollars. We're talking about tens of millions of dollars in fraud and theft and robbery across a multi-year investigation.
Okay, I'm more than sure white folk will show up in the arrest. I just think Damon, Chauncey, and Terry are the most notable because they're former NBA players. And Chauncey's a goddamn head coach of Portland. He's an active head coach. So I think those three would stick out the most because they're high profile. But I'm sure you're going to see a bunch of Italians, some white folk, a little bit of this, a little bit of that later on as the arrests start to pile up and more comes out of these indictments.
Not have done it without our interagency partners that are before us today. The NYPD, HSI, and teams of law enforcement officials from around the country made this day possible. It takes a team to bring this kind of justice, sweeping justice, into the halls of the United States courtrooms where our brave United States...
Bro, I thought they were all broken up. I didn't know either.
Courageous prosecutors to stand before you and say, we will not allow this kind of illicit activity to happen, not only at the national sporting level, but also where it ties to La Cosa Nostra. And when these two collided together, they perpetrated a fraud that is historic in terms of not just money, but the scheme and the deceit that they utilize to steal and swindle people from money, to include crypto fraud. This is an operation that showcases to you that under President Trump's administration, there is no room for any type of criminal behavior, be it on the world's largest stage or in the back rooms of tiny parlors where guard games are being played. We are proud to stand here today with the men and women of the FBI and this legal team. And to the United States Attorney, I just want to thank you personally for taking the time to display the work that the media is about to hear about today in detail. As I said, it does take courageous prosecutors, but it takes a courageous United States Attorney to bring this case because we are going to take heat for it. But we don't shy away in this administration. We don't say no. What we do is we bring the results across the finish line. We bring them to the public. We bring you accountability. And yes, they will have their day in court, and you will hear the evidence through the court system exclusively. We will not deny anyone of due process. And that's the brilliance of this system. That's the brilliance of this administration. Everyone will be held to account. So with that, I turn it over to United States Attorney Nocella. Thank you.
Okay. Let's keep it going. This is Chauncey coming out of custody. Hey, what was the name of the attorney on Power, played by Jerry Cantrell? What was his name, y'all? Come on, all my Power heads. That for those that watch Power, like you're really into Power. What was the name of the attorney he played? Somebody knows his answer. Somebody knows. What was the name of that the attorney he played that ended up getting killed? And like, nah, it wasn't Greg. It was a crazy little last name that everyone kept referring to him as. What was his name? Proctor. There you go. Hey, this little dude look like motherfucking Proctor. Wait, y'all see this little dude come out? Hey, y'all, that's Proctor right there. Yeah, y'all own it. Proctor. There's Proctor right there, y'all. He ain't dead. Yeah, Joe Proctor. There you go. He ain't dead. There you go, right there. That's Joe Proctor. Come on, black man. Ain't y'all tired of being the face of crime? Better call Saul. Come on, black man. Ain't y'all tired of being the face of crime? This is fucking sad. This is sad. Ain't we tired of being the face of crime, y'all? I mean, I get it. It was cool at one point, but now it's like, nah, we need to stop. We need to dial this shit back. Let's see. Let's go.
Now joining NBA Today, ABC News Chief Investigative Correspondent Aaron Katersky. Aaron, thank you so much for staying with us here on NBA Today. What more can you tell us about what Chauncey Billups is being accused of?
Okay, wait. Dumb question. Is that Chiney's real hair? I don't think so. Is this all of Chiney's real hair? I like her frame. She's jacked. I like that. I can still see a little shoulder collarbone here, but she got little traps. She got little shoulders. She got little arms. I like her build. Okay, come on. Let's continue.
Yeah, Sinead, Chauncey Billups, according to federal prosecutors, was the lure. The mafia allegedly paying him for his celebrity to attract high rollers to poker tables in the Hamptons, in Las Vegas, in Miami, and right here in Manhattan, so they would gamble, so they would play poker. What those people didn't know was that everyone else at the table was in on the scam because the games were rigged. Chauncey Billups was known as a face card because the mafia allegedly used his face to lure in these unsuspecting victims. The victims themselves were called fish, as the U.S. Attorney for the Eastern District of New York explained in Brooklyn a short while ago.
The scheme targeted victims known as, quote, fish, who were often lured to participate in these rigged games by the chance to play alongside former professional athletes who were known as, quote, face cards. The so-called face cards included the defendant Chauncey Billups, who at the time of the scheme was a former NBA player and is currently the head coach of the Portland Trail Blazers, and also Damon Jones, a former NBA player and coach. What the victims, the fish, didn't know is that everybody else at the poker game, from the dealer to the players, including the face cards, were in on the scam. For example, they used off-the-shelf...
Bruh, that is so like 1990s. Like, we're still dealing with the mob. Like, listen, my ignorance, I had no idea they were still like operating on this type of scale. I thought they were all busted up and just remnants, like shells of their former corporations or entities or whatever. I didn't know they were still, pushing shit around like this. Like the mob in 2025, like for real? Now, if this were boxing, I would believe this. Like, I'd be like, oh yeah, the mob's still involved in boxing. But this shit here to this level? Wow.
shuffling machines that had been secretly altered in order to read the cards in the deck, predict which player at the table had the best poker hand, and relay that information to an off-site operator.
Wow.
These rigged poker games have been going on, prosecutors say, since at least 2019, and it involved these altered shuffling decks, X-ray poker tables that could read cards that were face down. There were special glasses and contact lenses that enabled players in on the scam to know what the victim's cards were, and other technology brought to bear. The victim, Shanae, had no chance at winning these games. They lost millions of dollars, and since the mob was involved, prosecutors say if the victims couldn't or wouldn't pay, that's when violence was used to make sure they did.
Thank you, Aaron, for providing this profound information and stopping by NBA Today as well.
Yeah, I ain't gonna front. Shanae give me, yeah, Shanae can get it. Okay, let's continue. La Cosa motherfucking Nostra. I didn't know, y'all. I learned something today. These motherfuckers still doing their thing. Wow. Okay, so get out of here. This is insane. Black man, when y'all gotta stop being the face of crime, man. Listen, we trying to get on that 30%, them being the face of these crimes, okay? So 31, okay. I would not be surprised if LeBron, a matter of fact, they're already talking about his injury being sold. Hold up. I'm gonna find it. See, that's LeBron's media sports agency. Yeah. So LeBron is tied to this. Some way, somehow, they'll find a way. So these are the screenshots from the video. Wow. Holy cow. That's a former poker player. Okay. Yeah, y'all gotta stop playing with these people, man. Stop playing with these people. Oh, come on, stop. Get out of it. What is this? Get out of it. Okay. What did it say? Okay, at the rigged games, the members of the cheating teams used card shuffling machines that were purportedly randomly shuffling the playing cards to ensure fairness. However, the rigged shuffling machines were secretly altered to use concealed technology. Decoy cellular telephones that could similarly read and analyze cards were also used. Look at this shit here. So a card shuffler that was rigged up with a reader and analyzer that would tell a remote operator the best hands. Wow. And most shockingly, poker cards would sometimes be tagged with marks only visible to players wearing special glasses or contact lenses on their very eyeballs. That's exactly what happened with Sanford and Son. Hold up. I remember clearly. Yeah, okay, he said he marked the cards and he could see it with the glasses he was wearing. This is how he did it. This is how he did it. All right. I knew I wasn't crazy. But it just goes to show the technology has always been there, y'all. Always. Okay, so let's see. Wearing special glasses or contact lenses on their very eyeballs, enabling the cheaters to play a rigged game in full view of their oblivious victims. What's worse, most of this tech is widely available online, with sites advertising their cheating wares for a few hundred of $1,000s. Wow. This is the case. Matter of fact, I'll download it for y'all. Come on, make me do this. God damn it, don't make me do this. You're gonna make me do it. You're gonna make me do it. Okay, wait, no. I'm not gonna do it. Okay. Anywho. This is it. So you see, okay, here it is. Eric Ernest Spook, Marvis Fairley, Vez or Venzino, that has to be an Italian. Shane Hennon, known as Sugar, Damon Jones as D. Jones, De Niro Laster, Nero Peso, probably a Mexican. Terry Rozier, Scary Terry or Chump. So this is all they got so far. This is the one indictment, not the other. Because the other one has Chauncey on it. This is 23 pages. Okay. Hey, he better shit. Hey, listen, ain't nobody trying to go to prison like that. I hate to think that AD was wrapped up in this shit. But let me get to the LeBron injury. This is why I think they're gonna tie LeBron into this. I'm not a LeBron fan, but I think they're gonna end his legacy, y'all. LeBron James. Here we go. The injury was sold. Now this is crazy. Right? This is how they're going to tie him into this. I firmly believe that. This is how they're going to get him tied into this. Like, you knew we were selling your injury info. Okay?
There's also a layer of insider information with Damon Jones. Where does that come into play?
Yeah, when Jones was a kind of an unofficial assistant coach with the Lakers, this goes back to 2022-2023 season. There was a game between the Lakers and Milwaukee Bucks on February 9th. He relayed to one of the bettors that was named in the indictment today to get a big bet on Milwaukee tonight because a prominent player was going to sit out. Now, the indictment does not name the player, but the details of that were included do match Lakers' LeBron James, who did not play in that game. Now, James has not been accused of any wrongdoing, and according to sources told they're close to him, James was unaware of any kind of activity involving gambling that Jones was taking part of.
Once again, they can make a breadcrumb trail. They can make anything look like you got. If it were only just that simple.
Big names in the NBA among more than 30 people arrested in connection with federal investigation into sports betting and illegal gambling. Eyewitness News reporter Tim Caputo is here now with what we have learned so far. This is a big one.
It is, and it involves the Lakers, kind of indirectly. I'll explain in a second. This announcement comes just as the NBA season was starting, and not only involves a current coach of the Portland Trail Blazers who's accused of being part of a rigged poker game involving mobsters in New York, but in a separate indictment, a former unofficial Lakers assistant coach accused of leaking injury reports to gamblers so they could bet big against the Lakers. Hall of Fame player Chauncey Billups, one of 31 people arrested for allegedly taking part in illegal poker games where the outcomes were rigged. Billups, according to this indictment, was what they called a face card, a former NBA player who could recruit people with deep pockets.
Wait. Did Chauncey really deserve to be in the NBA Hall of Fame? Like, I like Chauncey. He doesn't scream Hall of Fame to me, though. I will go over his stats in a minute, but I never thought Chauncey was a Hall of Fame type of player. Okay, but let's continue.
Join the poker game and distract them when the house cheated, and in return, Billups got a cut. Check this out here. The indictment alleges they used sophisticated technology to cheat, like that X-ray poker table you were looking at where you could see everyone's cards. The Department of Justice claims since 2019, this operation netted more than $7 million in profit, stealing from poker players who didn't know they could not win. In another indictment, a former player and coach for the Lakers, Damon Jones, who was connected with the team for a couple of years, is accused of letting bettors know players like LeBron James were hurt and not going to play before the injury report came out so they could bet big against the Lakers.
The first indictment involves 6 defendants. This scheme is an insider sports betting conspiracy that exploited confidential information about National Basketball Association athletes and teams.
Terry Rozier, who has played on several teams over the course of his NBA career, the only active NBA player named in this indictment, also accused of letting bettors know he would be injured and leave a game early.
Wow.
He did not play last night in the Miami Heat game. So the NBA releasing a statement this morning about the arrest. It reads in part, "We are in the process of reviewing the federal indictments announced today. Terry Rozier and Chauncey Billups are being placed on immediate leave from their teams, and we will continue to cooperate with the relevant authorities. We take these allegations with the utmost seriousness, and integrity of our game remains our top priority." Now, the NBA Players Association also releasing a statement this morning in regards to these arrests, saying in part the integrity of the game is paramount to NBA players as well, but so is the presumption of innocence. A lot happening today. We know Billups is scheduled to appear in a court later this morning.